This Fox News alert with less than an hour left until the closing bell on Wall Street. It's a shortened trading day, by the way. A live look at the Dow hitting new all-time highs today on this short trading day. Also, other broad market gauges. The Dow's up more than 7% since Election Day, closing above 19,000 for the first time earlier this week. We got a consumer sentiment survey out finding that optimism is surging this month, rated at nearly 94 compared to just above 87 back in October. That University of Michigan survey also finding Americans are the most hopeful that they've been in more than a decade. More than a third of households say they expect their personal finances to improve next year. Kennedy, we talk about this stuff on the Fox Business Network all the time. It's a Trump rally, like it or not. I know that a lot of Democrats are still crying over Hillary losing, but the Russell 2000, the small cap index through Wednesday, is up more than 12% since Donald Trump was elected.
Yeah, you've got the four major indexes that are operating, all showing these massive gains and record highs. And it's interesting because Gallup did a survey of consumer confidence and finds that people are confident across the board. It's not just Republicans who are confident that they've got someone in office who's going to make this shift, and we're going to see a change in power, a change in party power. It's people across the board, and it's nice to see because it feels like for so many years since 2008, we've been reporting very glum news this time of year, and sales just have not been as high as you would hope, especially for some of these small retailers. This year, there's going to be phenomenal online numbers, and Black Monday appears to be it's going to have its biggest shopping day online in the history of the interweb.
Well, people who didn't support Trump, a lot of them didn't support him for personal reasons. They thought he was a bad guy, et cetera, et cetera. But you don't have to necessarily think someone's a good guy to have faith that he might be able to do good things for the economy. So it makes sense.
Well, Guy, this rally is based on the hope that tax reform happens both on the individual side and on the corporate side, that there is a big rollback in regulations. The tax cuts and the rollback in regulations, they flow right to a business's bottom line. So this is not fantasy land, if you will, in terms of the buying that's going on. And again, it's a change in what we've seen over the last 8 years.
Yeah, and I think part of it also is this awful election is finally behind us. There's a sigh of relief from a lot of people. And remember when President Obama won, there were really good days on Wall Street as well. That was a change election. This was a change election. People were unhappy with the status quo, even though, look, there were some positive developments in the economy over the last 8 years.
Sure.
Some of them were really sluggish. And, we can talk about the Obama recovery being really, really weak, which it was. But it was still, a recovery. Now there's a hope among a lot of people, Republicans, Democrats, everyone in between, saying, all right, whether we like the guy or not, we weren't happy with the trajectory of the country. It is going to change, and now we're starting to feel a little bit better. And the Democrats will say, oh, Trump will have an opportunity to build on the progress that President Obama has made.
We set you up for this.
Right. Whereas Republicans will say, finally, a guy who agrees with us in office, we're feeling better. So I think there's some bipartisanship there.
Well, I love the irony, though, of, say, Congresswoman Maxine Waters calling the stock rally appalling when she referred to it as appalling. I think it was like a week ago when the market was hitting records, Julie, under President Obama, and the Democrats loved that.
I'm thrilled the market's hitting records. I just hope that it hits records and pays dividends, not just for shareholders, but people in Ohio and people in Pennsylvania and Michigan who voted for Donald Trump, who are manufacturing, who expect the jobs to come back, who expect him to keep Carrier here and not send it to Mexico, who expect him to make America great again. Look, the market rally is great for people, and I know you've pointed out the fact that a lot of people have their portfolios invested in the market.
Through their
401ks invested in the market. 401ks, which is fantastic. But oftentimes, we've seen this certainly during the Obama recovery, what you see in the market does not necessarily get reflected down to working people or the same people that voted for Trump. And so I hope sincerely that those people derive some benefit and some dividends from this.
Yeah, it's not the only indicator. And right. We saw that with Obama because when the stock market was doing well, and it seemed like jobs, all the jobs numbers were heading in the right direction, but these were part-time jobs. These were not full, robust, full-time jobs.
And wages were stagnant for
stagnant wages
a large part of the last 8 years.
Really sluggish GDP growth. So if you can combine, this continued market rally, and there are economists who say that it's really at the top of the arc, unfortunately, and you never know. I mean, that's the kind of prognostication you never know. But hopefully, combined with GDP growth, we will see the economy improve, no matter who's president.
Can I just say very briefly? I also hate this idea of attributing all the good and all the bad in the economy to one person.
Yeah.
On either side.
Yes.
And both parties do this. When something's good, they say it's our guy. When it's bad, it's that guy. The president, of course, sets the tone. He sets a lot of policy. It's very important. But I think we go a little bit overboard saying this is all Trump or this is all Obama.
You're in luck because you guys have everything now. You've got the House, you've got the Senate, you've got the White House. You're about to get the courts.
I know, it's great.
He's going to influence potentially the Fed and Janet Yellen. He's certainly trying to. So, hey, Pottery Barn rule, you break, you own it. You own it now. Hopefully the market and the economy do well. It's all on you.
Was that Giuliani's policing philosophy?
I believe that was Colin Powell's invasion of Iraq philosophy, but I'm going to attribute it now to the Republicans controlling everything in our lives.
Obamacare for you guys, now it's a Republican's turn.
The election of the Republicans, Senate, House, and to the presidency says that we think that companies and individuals make better decisions with their money than Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and anybody in Washington.
Amen.
And I will say this, if you buy a stock, you have an ownership stake in that great American corporation. When you buy a treasury bond, you are loaning money to those bags in Washington and giving it to bureaucrats to spend on your behalf. You're loaning money to Uncle Sam rather than to own a stake in a company.
Repeal Dodd-Frank and the Fed and really let the economy.
Says the libertarian.